Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about television, specifically the crazy amount of cancellations that have been going on in the last month or so. A couple years ago, I did a top 6 list of my favourite TV shows that were cancelled too soon. It seems that list just gets longer and longer. Current TV shows that I watch are Code Black, Elementary, The Good Fight, The Blacklist, American Horror Story, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Bull, Instinct, Lucifer, RuPaul's Drag Race, Will and Grace, Feud, Game of Thrones, The Good Doctor, Grace and Frankie, A Series of Unfortunate Events, Pose, and Shadowhunters. I think that's all of them. Of these shows, Code Black was just cancelled, as was Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Lucifer, Game of Thrones, A Series of Unfortunate Events, and Shadowhunters, so it looks like my watch list just took a major hit. There were many other shows I used to watch, but they started great, then turned to crap, so I stopped watching them. Now, Brooklyn Nine-Nine was very luckily picked up thanks to the cries of the fans being heard. Now, I'll admit I didn't start watching this until news of its cancellation was made public, and then I binge-watched all 5 seasons in 5 days, and I'm now in love with it and completely understand why the fans were so upset. I mean, the show is brilliant. Lucifer, I was so upset about being cancelled, but thanks to the fans protesting and Tom Ellis being involved in negotiations, it has now been picked up by Netflix and will definitely be airing a 4th season, which is fantastic. If it hadn't been saved, then it would have been another series in a long line of series to end on a cliffhanger, and it does not matter if I love or hate a series, if you end on a cliffhanger, then I am convinced there is a special place in hell for studios that do that. I hated The Secret Circle and Witches of East End and wasn't shocked they got cancelled, but it ended on a cliffhanger and therefore I was pissed, because regardless of how I felt, that show did have hardcore fans, and the fans who become dedicated and invested in a show deserve more than that. Code Black was a huge surprise. I waited so long for season 3 to air, and just after 5 episodes they announced it's being cancelled. One of the best, most authentic procedural dramas on television that focuses more on realism than seeing how many doctors they can make shack up in a broom closet, and they cancel it? I'm dumbfounded. But this too has fans jumping to try and save it, and I stand with Code Black fans as I want it to keep running because of how much it has to offer. Game of Thrones was choosing to end after its next season, so that's okay. A Series of Unfortunate Events, I guess given the source material, can only run for so long, so I can understand that ending after its next season, but Shadowhunters came as another surprise. Now, I will be the first to admit I do think this show sucks in a lot of regards. The acting 50% of the time is cringeworthy, the dialogue has issues, the plot has problems, and the special and practical effects aren't always up to scratch. But it's one of those cheesy shows you can't help but keep watching because it does have fun moments, and it does have some surprisingly deep and profound plot points with very diverse characters and storylines, which is really appealing in this day and age, and it is kind of this underground show that is a beacon for progress in a lot of ways. Regardless of my feelings, it has a strong and devoted fan base, and so for them this is a hard blow, and while I appreciate them requesting an additional 2 episodes to give the show a conclusion, I don't agree with it being cancelled. I'm not surprised, but I am disappointed, and so I too stand with the Shadowhunter fans and hope for its survival. Studios will say it's all about ratings, but in 2018 that is no longer a legitimate reason to cancel shows. We have technology that allows people to set shows to record so they don't miss them when at work or out. We have people like myself who let episodes build up so they can binge watch them back to back, and we have people, as wrong as it may be, who download episodes because where they are in the world doesn't have access to the show, and they love it but have to find alternative means to get it. It's wrong, but it happens, and fact of the matter is those ratings numbers do not count for all the other demographics out there who watch these shows. So when you cancel something and you have hundreds of thousands of people taking to the internet to complain about the decision, doesn't it maybe indicate that your numbers aren't as accurate as you think they are? A bigger injustice is that some of these shows aren't given a chance to grow and flourish, and yet we have shows that derailed long ago still on the air. Now, these are shows I used to watch, but even I as a fan can raise my hand and say, enough is enough. Time to let it end with dignity and make room for new shows. Supernatural just got renewed for its 14th season. I used to love that show, but it ran off the tracks about 4 seasons ago, and it is just hanging on by the charisma of its actors. NCIS just got renewed for a 16th season, and I checked out after Michael Weatherly left the show. I tried to keep watching, but by that point it was already having issues, but after he left, the last leg that show was on was gone for me. The final nail in the coffin was Emily Wickersham joining the show. They started off by giving her some unique quirks, but as soon as she became an official new addition, they went in a completely different direction and ignored those established quirks, so I was just done. But it's still going. Criminal Minds, which I was a hardcore fan of too, went off the rails but has been renewed for a 14th season, and the list goes on. But there is another side that makes me even more annoyed about these cancellations. An insane number of TV shows are being rebooted. Shows that ended years ago are being brought back, most of which do not need to be touched or redone. They had their time, let them be, and let's give the new stuff a chance. Yes, I love the reboot for Will and Grace, and it's less of a reboot and more a continuation. For today's political climate, it works, and they brought back the same crew, so it's like nothing ever changed. So in this case, I'm perfectly okay with it. However, other shows leave me pissed or scratching my head. Bridezillas is coming back after 5 years off the air. My beloved Charmed is getting a distasteful, offensive, unwanted reboot, which won't last a season. The Jetsons, if you can believe it, is getting a live-action reboot for reasons I can't understand. The Magic School Bus, I mean, come on. Why? Why? That makes no goddamn sense. Magic School Pass was practically part of my curriculum at school. They used it to help us learn in class, and you're rebooting that too? Miami Vice, because the 2006 film adaptation wasn't enough, I guess. The Munsters, Murphy Brown, even Roswell. I can't even begin to process all of this because I'm either too stunned or too furious that this is happening. Sure, let's just throw decent modern television down the toilet so we can bring back greatness and destroy all that made it great in the first place. Fabulous idea! Being real, the only show I wish they would revive is The Newsroom. That show was incredible, so in-depth. It really opened my eyes to a lot of things and was educational, and in today's political climate with everything going on in the US, we need that show now more than ever. A show that tells it like it is, uses facts, uses them correctly, and does so unapologetically and without sugarcoating it with humor. Fuck everything else, just bring back The Newsroom and all the original cast and crew. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please comment down below and share your thoughts with me and, well, everybody else on what you think about the current condition of television these days. Have one of your favorite shows been cancelled? Were you pissed about it? Is one show that you used to love no longer good and you think it should be? So yeah, comment down below, let me know, like this video, and subscribe if you already haven't. Until next time, bye.
We switched round and round till half past dawn. There was 57 channels and nothing on. 57 channels and nothing on. 57 channels and